Here we go, guys. Loading into our final best of three of the day. This is going to be one of my favorite series, actually. I think this was second to the Naniwa series when it came to just caliber of players. So I am super excited. And here we go in the top right-hand corner of the map. Our green Zerg from Team Acer having an excellent series against Flash at MLG Dallas. What will he be able to do to get into Premier League? We'll find out. It is Bly. And his opponent in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, as the red Protoss player, never really having the most solid results, but always talked about in every group stage he goes into. For Millennium, it is Feast.
Yep, and Feast is the player here who came from Premier League.
Right.
He was not able to make it through the round of 16, so that's why we have him here. On the other side of the map, Bly, he's of course that Zerg player that was able to do really well in the who also came from Premier League, excuse me, but he didn't make it through the round of 32, and he had to beat Firecake and Tails. He beat Tails yesterday, 2-0. That's big, man. So he's got some solid PvZ under his belt to be able to take out one of the best Korean Protosses that we have playing in the EU Challenger League out 2-0. That's no small feat.
Yeah. I know that Feast is from Belgium, correct? Where's Bly from again?
Bly is from Ukraine.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. So representing, different parts of Europe. We'll have to see where the fans lie. Go ahead. There's a little bit of a delay, chat, but, when we get there, when you hear this, let us know who you're cheering for this series, Bly or Feast, and we'll have to see where this series goes. We do see that Feast going up for a standard gateway opener, has his gas on the way, to see if he takes that second gas before expanding where he wants to go with this, and Bly opening with the standard opener well. Pull before hatch, going to be taking his natural base right now.
Yeah, Bly always been a fan of going for spawning pool first. I don't think he's one of those players that would take a risk and go for a hatch first. It's been a long time since I've seen a hatch first be cannon rushed by a Protoss player, because Protoss players usually open with a gateway, and, well, not usually. They sometimes open with a gateway, therefore you cannot cannon rush in a hatchery first. But if you open with a forge, you usually don't scout as early anymore, and you won't be able to cannon rush either. So, a long time since I've seen a cannon rush, and very unlikely that we'll see one in this series, just because of the reasons I just named.
Yeah, it's actually pretty rare. Even watching streams and stuff, you almost never see cannon rushes anymore. But I'm glad to see that gateway openers are becoming more popular. For the longest time, it was just the boring, stale, forge, fast expand, nothing happening until 7 minutes. And now we're finally seeing some diversity in this matchup. It's really good to see. Second gas going down for Feast. His Nexus 3/4 of the way done. Should be seeing a Forge sometime soon. There are a lot of different styles where you actually go for multiple gateways and hit a timing before Forge, but then you're very vulnerable to a counterattack, like we saw Game 1 on Belsier Vestige with the Naniwa game. We'll have to see what Feast's plan is going into this mid-game.
Yeah, we saw Naniwa play a ridiculously greedy style, and he did have to pay the price for that a little bit. Tefel was not a player afraid to punish greedy Protoss play by just making a lot of Zerglings, Roaches, and Hydras and just going for it, killing the natural Nexus, and then coming back a few minutes later with a bunch of Roaches and Hydras, upgrading his army a little bit, and just keeping his Protoss opponent on 2 bases and slowly, meticulously killing him off.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Now, I love this harassment. I mean, you're a Protoss player, Lilian. What are your thoughts on this Zealot Stalker Mothership Core harass? When I play Protoss, I love opening with this kind of aggression. You delay the third base. If they're, this micro, you can even get a queen or two. What are your personal thoughts on this?
Zealot Stalker Mothership Core is one of the best things to have happen to Protoss. It's so cool to always be able to move out with your Zealot and your Stalker. But then again, you have to be careful, because you could get mind-gamed by a Zerg player who gets an early speed. And because you don't always scout anymore as a Protoss player, you could be caught off guard. For example, right now, Feast has no idea of what his opponent is doing, and there could be like 30 Zerglings streaming at the front of his base right now. That's something you have to be careful for when you're pushing out with that Mothership Core, that Zealot, and that Stalker.
That's a good point. Good point. We do have a little bit of pause here. One of my favorite features going into Heart of Storm is when the game is paused now, you as an observer, you can still move your camera around and look at things. Yeah. So you're not forced to look on one. You can shift between the tabs to have something to talk about. I want to point out something really interesting here, that we have Acer Bly going for the Overlord speed really quickly here. His second 100 gas, not going to lair, not going to like a +1. He's getting really quick speed. What are your thoughts on this decision from Bly?
I'm not really sure. He's starting speed first. He doesn't have a lair. I think this is just going to be for scouting purposes, maybe to freak his opponent out a little bit, to be careful with your Mothership Core here, Feast. There is high ground vision present with that Overlord being there, but the creep is going to stop extending there, and the Mothership Core will be able to get out. Feast having a small leg spike there, even typing a sad face himself.
Yeah, we forgot to mention this, but Feast is currently in the United States playing these games.
Oh, that's important. Yeah, that's really important.
So he's not playing from Europe. So just a little bit something to point out in this game. Now we do see that lair is on the way. Overlord speed is done. Now, say that our Protoss player goes for Stargate. This makes, you know, Overlords a little, you know, you can have them spread across the map and have enough time to get them home if Phoenix do show up. Allows quicker scouting as well, so it just delays the lair a little bit. Finally seeing that third base, the Mothership Core does scout it, creep spread moving down as well. Overall, both players playing pretty standard and safe.
Yeah, that Overlord speed that was researched was just for some scouting, as I kind of thought it would be. He saw the 4 gateways in the main base of Feast. He knows there's 2 more at the front, so 6 gateways are going to be coming at him. That's a lot of unit production in Feast. He's got really nothing behind this. No robo, no forges, and no nothing. He is really kind of banking on killing his opponent's third base hatchery, because if he doesn't, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. He needs to at least kill the third.
Yeah, he's going to have to shut that down. A lot of units here. A decent amount of force fields, only 4 sentries. We'll have to see if he warps in more. Some stalkers went across the map. The Speedlings do not see.
Oh, the probe gets intercepted. That's really important. It's the only proxy pylon that he has. He needs to keep this alive, and Feast will be able to do so. That is so important. If that would have gone down, that would have probably delayed this push by another full minute and given Bly more time to prepare.
A lot of Stalkers being warped in here. There are Roaches. Here we go. Will there be a good enough time warp? Stalkers leading the charge. More following up from behind. The force fields are going to be super important here. Roach speed's only halfway done. 11 Roaches on the way. And here we go. Engagement about to happen. Force fields are about... Our Guardianship goes on. Nice force field trapping them back, keeping them from kiting back. Zelts charging in. Nice time warp. Would like to see one on the ramp as well. More force fields getting in here. Stalkers getting a great engagement right now. Zelts are pinning these Roaches against the force field so there can be no micro. Mothership Core is getting targeted down, but it will be able to back away in time. That Queen is so low. Mothership Core is going to live, and it looks like we might actually just see a really quick win here from Feast.
Yeah, we definitely could. There are a lot of Roaches about to pop, though, but I think they're going to be just a little bit too late. Speed is not yet done and will not be able to make that much of a difference. The Protoss ball is just getting too big. Some Roaches coming from the high ground. There is a time warp down, delaying them from getting down just a little bit. The Roaches are doing a good job reducing the Stalker count, but it's not going to be enough. All of the drones at the natural have fallen. There's no drones left at the third base, just a few mining in the main base. Supplies, 43 supply, 80 for Feast.
38 probes, 25 drones. You're completely right, Larry, and this is looking almost GG. More Zelts and Stalkers reinforcing this. More time working on. GG drop from Bly. Feast drops. Feast going to take game number 1 on Daybreak.